Good evening. And today I shall be talking about Bram Stokers' Dracula. That is the actual book, not the movie with Keanu Reeves. And, well, let's be really honest here. Like, completely honest. It was a bit of a chore to get through. Dracula is an interesting book. It is a book that I might recommend to those who are interested in like the original vampire as we know the concept to be in the modern age. Less so for those who are actually interested in its folkloric or rather traditional origins, all that stuff that came before it. But like the modern iteration of the vampire, that is what this book is basically giving you. Its origin story, so to speak, what we base most of our modern media about vampires on. That includes things like Interview with the Vampire, as well as quite a few adaptations, no shit, of Dracula. Now, why would I say that this book is a bit of a chore to get through? It is not written in third person, neither in first person, at least to a degree it isn't. Most of the writing styles found within this book, they are newspaper articles, letters, and sometimes wax roll recordings, which in and of itself is not an issue. It's just that, oh my fucking god, are they lengthy and exhausting to read. Some of these include, but are not limited to, Dr. Van Helsing's grammatically incorrect diary entries, which, let me be really, really fucking honest, they were just, like, so hard to bear. I could not quite gather all my strength to read some of those chapters in one sitting. I sometimes had to cut a chapter into 4 different sessions. And in between those sessions, I was kind of just doom scrolling through my phone, which is never a good sign for a book. If I am far more interested in just doom scrolling rather than reading through its pages. But other than that, let's get down to business with the main story elements. So you got Jonathan Harker, who goes to Transylvania to have a the Count Dracula, sign on some papers and also explain to him some, well, not to Jonathan. Jonathan explains to the Count some mannerisms and some things that he needs to look out for once he actually moves to London, because that is what the Count plans to do. And the rest of the book is about the Count doing things in London, however, not from the Count's point of view, as previously established. Most of what he does is being described through these diary entries, newspaper articles, and let me be completely honest, it's not an issue. This book doesn't have any issue once it actually focuses on the Count. Everything that is not in direct correlation with the Count and just has some of our main, but not necessarily main characters that we are not necessarily required to focus on for the story to truly progress. Like, once we focus on those characters, specifically once we focus on fucking Lucy, story feels like it comes to a screeching halt. It's not really a spoiler. Everybody knows that Lucy is the girl who becomes ill during this story, which in reality it's Dracula who's been drinking her blood in regular intervals. Lucy is like the best friend of Jonathan Harker's wife, and as such, in theory, one would definitely hope that it would be easy to feel sorry for her, but I don't. It felt so drawn out, if not completely abridgable. Somebody could have taken all these chapters, just focus on Lucy slowly dying, and then getting a blood transfusion, and another one, and a third one, just for good measure, I guess. And then finally dying. But wait, no, not really. She's a vampire now, or rather a zombie kind of vampire. And then we have to kill her again. And oh my fucking god, it just keeps going and going. And I know that indirectly the good count was doing what he is known for, but like, it was so boring. And the reasons giving as to why she just couldn't bloody die were like, infuriating. Oh yeah, no, hi there. I'm fucking what's his name? Fucking Helsing. I'm Dr. Van Helsing. I'm an expert in vampiriology and God knows what stuff. I'm all this shit. I got my knowledge. I know what I'm doing. Could you please not leave that fucking window open while this girl is dying in here? Could you please not remove that fucking garlic I spread out everywhere? Could you please not see the fucking golden crucifix I placed on her? Next thing you know, each one of these security measures are just being ignored by some well-meaning, but in the end, complete and utterly uh, abhorrently stupid person. And you just have to wonder why on fucking earth would Bram Stoker think it would be necessary to go through the same sequence of events, which is trying to prevent Lucy from getting her blood sucked, then somebody preventing those security measures, and Lucy gets her blood sucked, and the next thing you know, she needs a fucking blood transfusion 3 fucking times. This is where the book suffers immensely. However, once Jonathan Harker, who has been suffering kind of like a through a lot of things, and once he comes back to rejoin the story as such, and he witnesses the Count standing there in bright daylight in London City, well, the story gets good again. So, do I recommend this book? Well, once again, I can only repeat what I already said. You need to make up your own mind of this about this, because I, in all seriousness, do not know whether or not you will like this type of writing. It can be exhausting at times, but also very rewarding because every scene that the Count actually is in is always marvelously written. It keeps your attention. He's a presence to be reckoned with, and that's what really fascinates one about this first iteration of him. This iteration that doesn't really have any redeeming character traits as well. He's just pure evil, and yeah. Once again, if this book had been abridged a bit more, like a few less chapters, it would have been perfect. Like, let me check. Look, it comes in at about bloody. Ironic, isn't it? Bloody, yeah, whatever. Like 440 pages approximately. Let's say we just cut out 100 of those, and the book would have been perfect. Other than that, well, it's Bram Stoker's Dracula. If you're interested in it, you can read it. Yeah, it's probably a copy being published by Penguin, like another edition right now. These cost like maybe $5 at most. You can get it from Amazon or from any other online book retailer or from your local book retailer as well. It's not hard to get. It's easy to acquire. So if you want to give it a shot, I mean, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Just saying. But don't be disappointed when you get bored halfway through.